Hi everyone, I'm Clem. Welcome back to my channel. So you might know it, but in May, it is in the United States the Asian Heritage Month, and so in order to honor Asian authors and Asian characters, the booktuber Read with Cindy created a few years ago the Asianreadathon. It's a month-long readathon during which we're trying to read as much as possible Asian authors and books with Asian protagonists. And maybe you want to do it, but you might not know what to read. And I know she created this master list with like hundreds of books on it, but I decided I would do today this recommendation of books I've read that are either by Asian authors who with Asian protagonists or characters. So I'm only going to talk about books that I've read maybe during the year or for the previous readathons. So you can have like my opinion on these books. Of course, I will be posting my TBR for the Asianreadathon next week, so if you also want to know what I will be reading, go see my video next week. Okay, so subscribe. It is the time to subscribe to my channel to see this video. But I'm going to start with the first book. The first one is actually a duology. It's The Wrath and the Dawn and The Rose and the Dagger by Asianreadathon. Of course, you don't have to read the two during the month, but you can start with The Wrath and the Dawn. So this is a duology in which we're following Shazrad, because this is a retelling of A Thousand Nights, you know, the Arabian tale, I think it's how you say it. And so in this one you're following Shazrad, and Shazrad, she wants to avenge her best friend. She lives in a world where the Caliph, each day he picks a new wife and the next day she dies. And her best friend was one of those wives, and so she wants to avenge her, and so she's going to propose herself to be the next wife of the Caliph. Of course, in order to kill him, she's going to have to convince him to not like be killed like at dawn. And so she's going to tell him stories, but she's never going to finish the stories in the morning. So the Caliph will want to hear the rest of the story, and so he will keep her. And that's basically the synopsis of the story. Of course, this is an enemies to lover book. It was amazing. The duology is really great. It's really fast-paced. I really enjoyed it. I preferred the first one because in the second one it's not about the same thing. Like, it's not about the retelling, it's more about like following the character in their lives and in their quest. It was still good, but very different, and not that different, but not the same thing. Really amazing. Asianreadathon is an amazing author. I loved writing, and also the main character, I mean all the characters are Asian, so you can read this also for the readathon. Next I'm going to recommend Lara Jean Keeps Breaking Up With Me by Mariko Tamaki. This is a very cute graphic novel, okay? It is a female love story between two girls, and of course you're following Freddie, and Freddie is in love with Lara Jean, but Lara Jean is not the best girlfriend in the world, because she keeps breaking up with Freddie whenever she wants, whenever she feels to, and because she always knows that Freddie is going to wait for her. But actually Freddie is tired of this, and she's going to try to break free from Lara Jean, like from the love she has for her, and she's going to try to live a life, meet new people. So you're following, like, the main plot is the relationship between Freddie and Lara Jean, but you also follow her friends, and her friends are going through a lot of things, and it's super interesting. I feel like the main character and the secondary characters are all amazing. Like, it's super interesting to follow them. I really loved it. Moreover, the drawings are only in black and white and pink. I thought it was really great. I really loved it. I read it last year for the readathon. It was super easy, super quick, and I loved reading LGBTQN plus story because I don't read enough of them. You can also read Anna K and Anna K Away, which is the second book in this one because it's a duology, but it just came out, it's coming out I think on the 27th of April. So here I'm going to focus on the first one, so Anna K by Jenny Lee. So this one is a retelling of a story by Tolstoy called Anna Karenina. Maybe you're familiar with it. If you're not, I'm not going to spoil too much of it because it's a good way to discover this story through this book. So in this one you're following Anna K, and Anna K lives in the Upper East Side of New York. Okay, she's among the wealthiest family. And she's very popular, she's very well known in like the community, like the wealthy people, and she has this perfect boyfriend and everyone thinks that they're going to get married because they're just perfect for each other. But one day Anna, she meets a boy on the train and she falls in love with him, but he's very different from her actual boyfriend, and she's going to be torn between her perfect boyfriend and this new mysterious guy. You're following her story, but also the story of a lot of other characters, and they are all linked together and their story intertwined. Like if something is going to happen to one character, it's going to affect like the story of another one, and this one's going to impact another one. I loved it. It's like Gossip Girl with a lot of drama, and it was so great to read because, as I told you, when something happens I could see what was going to happen to someone else, and I thought it was amazing. I really loved it. Then I developed an obsession for Anna Karenina. I can't wait for the second one. I think it's going to be very different, but still I loved this book, so I advise you to read it. I'm going to mention a classic because it's a classic, and I think if you've never read, like if you're new to YA or if you just started like reading popular books, this is a good book to read for the Asian Heritage Month because it is the Lara Jean trilogy, and the first one is To All the Boys I Loved Before. Maybe you've seen the movie, maybe you've heard about the book, but you never read them. So in this one you're following Lara Jean, and Lara Jean is a hopeless romantic, helpless romantic. And she had different crushes, like she loved different boys throughout her lives, but she never told them, and instead she wrote letters to them, but she never sent them. And so at the beginning of the story, the letters are going to be sent by someone, she doesn't know who, and there is like a complicated story with a sister's boyfriend because she was in love with him when she was younger, and so he received a letter and it's really complicated. And so in order to solve her different problems, she's going to fake date the most popular guy in her high school, and she was also in love with him. Okay, he received a letter, and so they're going to be fake dating for her to like solve a problem and for him to make his previous girlfriend jealous. It's okay, it's not the best book, but it's really cute, really easy to read. Sometimes it's funny and it's a bit cheesy. Like, I think if I read them for the first time now, as the person I am, I would not enjoy them as much as I did when I first read them. But I still recommend this book because it's a great book. Okay, it's, of course, there are better books out there, but it's super easy to read and cute, and really you don't have to read the whole trilogy if you don't want. This one is pretty much the best. I also like the second one, but I like this one really, so you could read it. It's a good book to read some about an Asian character and also an Asian author. The next three books are about the same author, and it is one of my favorite authors, and it is Mary Lu. Mary Lu wrote a lot of things, and if you don't know, Mary Lu is a Chinese author. So she wrote a lot of books and I've read most of them, so I feel like I could not do this video without mentioning at least Mary Lu once, but it's not going to be once, it's going to be 3 times. And the first series I'm recommending was the first one I read by Mary Lu, and it was the Legend series. There are 4 books in this series. It is really great. Okay, it was written I think in the 2010, like it's pretty old, and it's a dystopia. So if you feel like you don't like dystopia, or if you're not be into those things, still read it because it is great. It is one of the best dystopia I read at that time. So you're following June, and June is a very famous girl, like not famous in high school, but she's part of the Prodigy, and the Prodigy are teenagers who are better, just better, like more intelligent, more stronger, and so she's part of this, like the higher part of society. She has a lot of privileges, but one day a brother she loves more than anything gets killed, and everyone thinks he was killed by Day, and Day is the contrary of June. Okay, he's said to be a criminal. He lives in the lower part of society. He was supposed to be dead, but he's not, and so she's going to try to find him in order to kill him, but she's going to discover a lot of things, and they will have to work together in order to uncover the different secrets and mysteries around the government and the society they live in. I loved it. Okay, it's once again enemies to lover, a romance, so good. The world building was amazing. The second one is the best one. So much angst and so much pain and cliffhangers. I loved it so much. This trilogy, I mean, now it's a series because there are 4 books, has a dear place in my heart, but I could understand that people don't like it because it's an old book, but it's still good. It's still like amazing. I would reread it if I could. So please read this book if you feel it's something you would like. Next, we're coming with Warcross duology. This came out a few years ago, and it is very different from what I just told you. This one is sci-fi, and it's happening in an early future in which like technology is super advanced, and there is every year this competition of e-gaming. It's like worldwide, everyone is watching it. It's like, I don't know what's comparable because we don't live in the same countries. But I mean, this is a huge thing. And so you're following Emika Chen, and Emika Chen is a bounty hunter. And the night of the opening ceremony, she's hacking the game and she's stealing something. She thinks she's going to get into trouble, but actually she's invited by the creator of the game in order to work for him, like to enter the competition as a spy to find who wants to destroy the game and who wants to kill him. So she's going to enter this team. It's amazing. There's a lot of mystery. The second one was a bit weird, but still I like it. The romance between Emika Chen and the creator of the game is amazing. It's a slow burn. Loved it. So it was really fun to read and really different from the rest. Of course, if you don't know, Mary Lou was first, before becoming an author, she was into the gaming industry, like she created or designed games. So this was a book she really wanted to write because there's a lot of gaming, and so it talks to her like it's a favorite subject. So I loved reading this because you can feel that she knows what she's talking about, and I loved it. And last but not least, the last Mary Lou I'm going to recommend is a second trilogy, which is The Young Elite. Once again, very different from the other two. This one is a fantasy. And in this one, you're in a fantasy world in which there was a disease, and either you got killed by the disease or you survived it. But if you survived it, you're not well seen in the world because you're called malfetos, and malfetos are said to bring curse, to bring bad luck, like no one wants to deal with them. And of course, malfetos also have powers. And so you're following the main girl who's called Adelina. And Adelina lives with a father, and a mom died. And so her father hates her because she survived and she's weird. Everyone judges her. And so one day she's going to escape, and she's going to meet this group of malfetos called the Young Elite. And they're trying to fight for their rights, like to have a place in society and just to survive because everyone is trying to kill them. She's going to meet them, and then a lot of things are going to happen. Like she's going to have to try to defeat an evil man who's trying to kill everyone. She also has to deal with a sister, with the leader of the group who's really mysterious and you don't really know what he's up to. I loved it, really. I haven't read yet the second and last book, but it's on my TBR for the year. Really amazing, loved it, really different from all the other things by Mary Lou, so I was surprised when I read it, so go check it. And last but not least, I'm going to mention a book that I've never seen on BookTube, BookTwitter, BookTok, anywhere, and it's such a shame because it's amazing. I read it last summer and it is The Reader trilogy by Tracy Chee. I can't remember like the name of the trilogy, but in English the title, the first one is The Reader. Okay, so in this one, it's happening in a world where no one knows how to read. And if you know how to read, it's dangerous, okay? People are going to come for you because it's something very special and it's a power that people will try to manipulate and use. So you're following Sophia, and Sophia lost a mom, a dad and an aunt because of a strange rectangular object which is actually a book. And Sophia is going to discover that actually she can read, and people are going to try to find her and the book because the book is really important in the world. She's also going to meet on a way to find her aunt because, not her aunt, but like there is a secret around the family and she's going to try to understand what's happening. And so she's going to go on this quest with the book. Of course, people are going to try to kill her. She's going to meet this boy, and this boy also has his own secrets, like he was part of a group of children who are asked to kill each other. Really weird, but actually everything is connected. Amazing. What I like the most about this book is, of course, it's about a book being super important, so as a reader you love this, but throughout the book, you can see here, it's a bad example, sorry, it's in French, but I don't know if you can see it, but here near the number pages you have a word, and if you read all the words it makes a sentence. Like in the books you have a lot of mysteries, like clues, things to like decipher, like at some point you have weird marks, you have handprints, like you see you will also have extract of the books she's reading. Amazing. I loved it. I haven't read the other books in the trilogy, but this one was amazing. I couldn't stop reading this summer when I read it, and I feel people should read it because it's amazing. It's really great. The world building is amazing. The whole story is amazing because at some point you think that it's happening in the past, but actually no. Then you read something from the book and you're going to understand what's actually happening in the world. Loved it, amazing, people should read it, so please, if you have to pick any book from this recommendation list, pick this one, pick it, it's amazing. So that's it for my recommendation. Of course there are so many other books you could read for the Asian Heritage Month. You can also go check the video of Read by Cindy and the list she made. I'm going to try to link my wrap-up for last year and my TBR for last year if you want to learn more about this. Also, if you want to follow me on TikTok, I will be doing throughout the week recommendation for the readathon and the Asian Heritage Month. So if you want to have more books to read, you can go see those videos on TikTok. And I will see you next time. Don't forget to like this video if you did and to subscribe to my channel. And tell me what books you want to read. If you want to read any of the books I mentioned, or if you want to participate in the readathon, I would love to know. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I will see you next time. Bye!